Hey, good afternoon, everybody, and welcome to Bull City Hangout 10-6. I'm Pat Murray. I publish the Durham Skywriter. That's Durham's online community paper, which you can check out at durhamskywriter.com. Now, it's Bull City Hangout. I tell you what's happening today in Durham, and I do invite you to click on that link right there on the Facebook side. Join me on camera, say hello, shoot the breeze, promote your business and or your special event. And if you could share this out, that would be super awesome, because then more people in Durham can find out what's happening. So let's get started with the word page. That is the government and nonprofit information page. There's lots on that page, including programs and services that are being offered by local nonprofits of the city of Durham and also Durham County. Lots of programs. Check it out. Go up and down the page, see what pertains to you, and then go ahead and sign up. The Durham County libraries are all open until 6 tonight, and then they reopen tomorrow at 9:30, and Bragtown, as you know, is not open on the weekend. Let's go to the health page. There's some blood drives I need to tell you about. Let's see. So the American Red Cross is going to have a blood drive tomorrow, I think. Let me scroll down the page. Yeah, tomorrow the American Red Cross will be at Holy Infant Catholic Church, 5000 South Park Drive, tomorrow morning early from 8 until 1. So if you can help out, if you can donate blood, I know they would greatly appreciate it, and you can save lives. Now, the Blood Connection, they're also going to have a blood drive. So they've already started at Duke Primary North, which is 5102 North Roxborough Road. So they'll be going until 2. And then they'll be at Coles later, the Coles, which is on McFarland Road, which is right off of Highway 15501. So they're going to be there from 4 until 7 this afternoon. And then tomorrow, Blood Connection will be at Belk, and that's going to be the one at Streets at South Point, which of course is way south on Fayetteville Road, from 11 until 1:30. And then they will be at High Wire Brewing at Golden Belt, 800 Taylor Street. This is tomorrow from 3:30 until 7:30. Now today, with it being Friday, that means that HELP is open, the Health Equipment Loan Program. This is a county program. You can donate things like wheelchairs and walkers, that sort of thing. If you no longer have use for these, somebody else can use them. So you can donate it, and then they'll clean it and repair it as necessary, and then loan them out to people who need them, especially people who can't afford otherwise to rent or buy outright. So you can borrow these items 90 days at a time, and just give them a call or just stop by today from 1 until 5, 4206 North Roxborough Street in Suite 100, which is on the south end of it's like a little shopping mall or strip mall, like a strip mall. Okay, let's see. Let's go to the, let's go ahead and go to the Let's Go page. That's the calendar of events page. There are other pages, but I'm just going to stick to the Let's Go page for now and see what's happening. I do invite you to go through the whole website. When you have time, just take your time and go through it. Now, today's the 6th, and let's see what indeed is happening. New Visions, they're giving away, I should say their whole name, New Visions of Africa Restaurant. They're giving away free meals today to people in need from 3 until 6. They're at 1306 Fayetteville Street, right next door to W.D. Hill. And they do have picnic tables out there, so you can have a nice meal, sit out, watch the traffic go by, watch the kiddies play, that sort of thing. The weather's going to be pretty nice. Now, if you don't want to do that, then go ahead and take it home and enjoy it there. They're served by the 5 and the 5K bus. If you're driving, go around and park in W.D. Hill parking lot. That's their next door neighbor. Now, Stephen Munoz, who will be leading Lojo, that's Log Off Jam On. Mr. Munoz is a singer and guitarist. He's really good. I've seen him on Facebook. So he will be at Boxyard RTP, which is off of Highway 54 at 900 Park Offices Drive. You can go and you can join him on stage, play whatever kind of music you want to play. This is from 5:30 until 8:30. It's free. They will have eateries around you, so you can go ahead and buy dinner if you get hungry. Now, this is the last playlist concert. It's going to be tonight, hosted, of course, by Durham Central Park. It's in Durham Central Park, which is downtown, 501 Foster Street. Go ahead and park above the park on in the Measurement Incorporated parking lot on Morris Street. But anyway, tonight's the last concert. They will be featuring 𝗕𝗨𝗟𝗟𝗟 and 𝗕𝗓𝗓𝗓. They were on my show years ago. So happy to see if they're still around. African fusion. They have a hip sound, excellent instruments. I mean, it's a really fun, they're almost like, I'm going to say a party band. And they're really, really fun. African beats with a Western flavor. It's really, really nice. So here's how it works. WNCU 90.7 FM, they are like co-sponsors. So they will be simulcasting the whole concert if you can't make it. But they'll start at 7 with DJ Travis. He'll be playing great music. Then the free concert starts at 7:30. And then after the concert, DJ Travis returns with a dance party to keep the vibe going from 9 until 10. So it's a whole evening of fun from 7 until 9. If you're taking the kiddies with you, be sure to have a few bucks because, you know, wherever there's people in Durham, there's food trucks. So be sure to do. Oh, don't forget your lawn chair and or your blanket. Now, we had a bit of rain recently, so the ground is probably still wet. Try to see if you can get a tarp from like Dollar Tree or Harbor Freight or Walmart or whatever. Get it inexpensive. If you can't find a tarp, then get a shower curtain. It's just as good as plastic. And then lay it down, put your towel on top, and have a good time. So the music is going to be super great. I'm sure the dancing, you'll want to join that as well. So it's going to be super duper fun and free, except for the, you know, if you're buying food at the food trucks. Now, here's an adult-only event that really sounds wild. Durham Parks and Recreation, they're hosting the Creepy Clown Trail. This is the first I've ever heard about it. I don't think they did this last year. This is like a new event as far as I know. It's at West Point on the Eno, but it's on the other side where they have the Environmental Education Pavilion. The official address is 5253 North Roxborough Street. So it's going to be tonight from 8 until 11. So here's how it goes. So this is like a legendary story that some, whoa, did you see that? I just saw balloons. Balloons just appeared on screen. How did that happen? Did I say a magic word? That was wild. Anyway, so there's this legendary story that there was a car crash in the Eno River, and that the survivors, ghostly apparitions, are walking the trails. This sounds really wild. Maybe that's why it's adults only, because it does sound a little spooky. So you're supposed to bring your flashlight and search for ghosts. I don't know. So yeah, it sounds wild. Now it's free. Groups will leave I didn't tell you the time, from 8 until 11. So groups will be leaving every 15 minutes, and then it takes like an hour to complete the trail. And I suspect there are going to be some people who will come pre-relaxed, if you know what I'm saying. So yeah, it should be an interesting occasion. So just be ready for just about anything. So it should be lots of fun, though. Okay, celebrate African heritage and Afrofuturism at Djembe Nights. This is going to be this evening from 10 until 2 at 𝗕𝗓𝗓𝗓 on West Morgan Street downtown. So ladies can get in for free until 11. Otherwise, admission is $10. Should be lots of fun with music and the arts. Now, let me just tell you about a few things happening tomorrow morning. Now, I will be on tomorrow at 10, but I just want to let you know in advance so you can make put your schedule together. So as you know, tomorrow's first Saturday. So October Cars and Coffee will be from 8 until 11 at Road Scholars. Love the pun. Road Scholars is on Page Road. And this is where if you're into cars, you just go and you look at the cars and the fanciness and lift the hood and look at the the engines and the gears or whatever. This is for car enthusiasts. Now, I think if I'm not mistaken, tomorrow's focus is going to be on motorcycles. So if you love motorcycles, motorbikes, tomorrow's going to be your ideal event. So it's free. It's from 8 until 11. And they might even have some little snacks there for you. Now, Durham Farmers Market, as always, they will be in Durham Central Park downtown from 8 until noon. Then the Durham Craft Market in the same spot, same time, also in Durham Central Park from 8 until noon. The South Durham Farmers Market, 8 until noon, in the Greenwood Commons Shopping Center South on Highway 55. First Saturday at Porsche South Point, again for car enthusiasts. They might have some little snacks there for you. And of course, you can look at the cars and the engines and all that fancy stuff. So there you go. And of course, you get to look at the Porsches if you like the fancy sports cars. Old North State Jam, they're going to have their first Saturday open jam where you get to hear good old-timey fun acoustic music. You can join in if you have an acoustic like a banjo, flute, or whatever, so you can join in. We're going to have two guests today, Barb and Guy. Awesome. Bring you on right after the weather. Super fun. Okay. Now, another thing you need to know, Whistle Stop to, did I tell you the time? So the first Saturday open jam is tomorrow in Durham Central Park during the Farmers Market from 10 until noon. Okay. Whistle Stop Tours next. Haytide Neighborhood History Walking Tour starts at 10 o'clock tomorrow. So I won't be mentioning this during tomorrow's show because the show starts at 10. Tickets are $25. So click on the link to get your ticket and to learn more about this historic event. I think that's it. There's more happening, but I can tell you tomorrow during the show. It starts at 10. Now, it keeps looking like rain, so I decided I was going to check the app on air to give you the up-to-the-minute update. Oh, it looks like we are going to get rain. Okay. It's 74 right now. It's really nice out. It is cloudy, though. It's going up to 77, but it looks like rain, as I suspected. So it looks like it's going to rain around 1-ish. So very shortly, we're going to get some rain probably somewhere in Durham. So it looks like the sun's not going to peek out until around 5-ish. Yeah. So anyway, it's going to be cloudy pretty much all day with some rain from 1 until 2-ish. Now, tomorrow it's going up to 77. Oh, okay. There's like a 95% chance of rain. Yeah, it's going to be wet tomorrow. Hate to see it. I don't like to see people get wet during their special events and going to the farmers market, but we're a hardy bunch and we can take it. Just bring out your umbrella and or your rain jacket. Okay, it looks like people are waiting from across the country. So let's bring them on and see what indeed is going on. It's Guy R. Cook and Barb Tomlin. How are you? Are you muted, Barb?
Yes. You're still muted, okay. Barb.
I got it.
There you go.
I got it.
Yes.
Sorry, I was doing some troubleshooting beforehand, and I wanted to make sure if you turned the live on that you wouldn't hear.
Exactly. How are you?
I'm excited because the balloon fiesta, starts tomorrow morning, and we had a preliminary event that's gone on, I think, for probably as much as 15 years now. Where the pilots arrive early, so they're for sure here on the first morning of balloon fiesta. They scheduled a fly at various schools in the area. I think about 200 of them actually go out to the schools early in the wee hours, and when the kids come, then they do a tether for the kids and then take the balloons up. So
Barb, tell us where your area is, because I don't want our local Durhamites to get all excited thinking it's happening here.
That's in Albuquerque, New Mexico, and there's lots of folks from your state that come here to participate in that event each year.
So. Nice. Okay, nice.
Yeah.
One day I'd like to come to a balloon festival, and we were talking about maybe taking part
this year.
Yeah, yeah.
Well,
Woo.
I think it'll be better next year because what I'm going to
Okay.
do for next
Mhm.
year is I'm going to
Mhm.
plan our 50th wedding anniversary party. Is my wedding anniversary is on October the 5th, and my 50th will be next
Sweet.
year. And I just thought I spoke to
Oh,
my husband about it, and I said, why don't we do our celebration at Balloon Fiesta? So that
why not
way,
indeed?
yeah. So we'll see if we can't get you out to that one. It'd be lots of fun.
Okay.
Oh,
We'll talk.
I thought you were frozen on screen.
I was like stunned, like,
Yeah. Well,
yes.
I wanted to tell you that I'm also streaming to our group, the Born to Stream Live group, at the same time that
Mhm.
we've got the
Oh,
hangout going
nice.
here, and I did share the link with them. So hopefully it worked.
Well, we did meet a new friend, your friend Ata. He comes on regularly now.
All right.
Yeah,
Wonderful.
yeah.
That's great. He came in today or
We didn't
just
come in
recently?
today, but he's been on several times. Yeah, he comes
I'll be
on all the
darned.
time now. Yeah.
Well, that's a great opportunity for him to learn English as a second language. As you know, he's
Mhm.
really striving to polish that. So
He's getting
wonderful.
better and
Thank you.
better. Mhm. Absolutely.
Wonderful.
Absolutely. So, Guy, what's happening out in Washington State and the Pacific Northwest, so to speak?
Well, I was working on ideas for the podcast,
Mm-hmm.
and I said I need to do one of those, click here to download stuff, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I said, well, what's something everybody can use? And I thought royalty-free images. You got to have
Yes.
images with your blog post. Like if you got a blog post about growing carrots, you need a picture of a carrot, right?
Exactly.
So I Googled it and I found some lists of links, and I guess I'm anal. None of them were alphabetically listed. I said, if I find
Oh,
one that's the
oh, you
best of the
see.
rest, I want to go through the list and find it, boom, not have to Easter egg it each time.
But
So I built a list.
do you think most people search for images by searching, right? Not by
Well, they're
browsing.
going to have a favorite. Like they might have like Unsplash is the one that's real popular right now, or Pexels,
Mm-hmm.
and that's what their go-to repository is. Okay, but I
Mm-hmm.
thought,
Mm-hmm.
well, why not give them a whole big list? So the biggest list
Why
that
not?
I could find was numbered 38.
Wow.
So I built a list by hand of my own that's 40 plus. I
Whoa.
thought,
Okay.
then the light came on, and I thought, how am I going to make this available to download and know which channel download? Like if I've got it downloaded and I put it on Twitter,
Mm-hmm.
is that going to be the same URL as I put on Facebook or Durham Skywriter? Okay.
Yeah.
So
Well,
the
yeah.
idea came up
Mm-hmm.
that means I've got a ton of space in Google Drive. I
Mm-hmm.
make a separate folder for each download so I can get a separate
Wow.
share link for each file. So like the one I'm going to put into the comments on Durham Skywriter is going to be unique to just Durham Skywriter. Okay, so 6 months goes by and I go back and look which one was hot, which one was not. That's
Okay.
going to give me, I call it the best of the rest. So then I can find out if the channel on whatever social channel it is, Medium or Reddit or wherever,
Mm-hmm.
it's got the lion's share of the downloads. Then I know consumers that are attracted to that set of keywords.
Yeah.
That's going to be bazinga. It's going to work.
Okay.
So that's what Guy's been doing. I like yesterday.
I want to say something. I want to interject.
Okay.
Now that I have remembered to subscribe to you, and folks, he does the Guy R. Cook Report, chock full of online tips. Now that I remember to subscribe to you every day, you give us the business, good stuff, good tips.
Thank you. And I did an episode link just in the last couple of days. It's been a hot potato, and the title was what is the Guy R. Cook report about? And that's went bazinga. It's gone
It's
bonkers.
about a minute.
Yeah, it's gotten like 3 times the downloads of other episodes because people are just curious. I guess they go in.
Yeah.
You know, he's been doing this since 2016. I wonder what it's about. Well,
There you go.
maybe I made a humble attempt at that. But anyway, I'm pretty excited about this royalty-free image downloads.
I'm going to definitely
I'm
take
over here
it.
so I make sure I got the name spelled right. And I'll copy and paste that into the Facebook comments.
Okay.
And then any place else that you own property that you want to share that link in, that's unique to Durham or Durham Skywriter consumers, I guess you'd call it.
Yeah. Okay. Cool.
So keeping me busy. Oh, and I gotta tell you this. This is a shameless brag. I have a headline evaluator. So if I put royalty-free image downloads for Durham Skywriter, I can text that download headline with emotional, what is it? EMV, emotional words or something, and they give you back a score.
Oh.
So I put the test today, threw it in the pot the first time, and I never have done this. I got a 40 the first try.
That's good.
I mean, 100 is perfect. You know,
Yeah.
God gets 100.
Okay.
But I got a 40, and then it says most professional headline writers get 30 to 40 as a score. So,
well, there you go. There you go.
Pat on the back over that one. Anyway,
I would think if you eliminated the Durham part, it would be higher because it would be more universal.
The Durham part isn't in the headline I'm using on the.
Oh, good. Because I would think that would
I may well use that headline, royalty-free image downloads for Durham Skywriter. I think I'm going to use that headline.
Probably get a 2 with that one because that's too specific.
Well, I want to mention Durham Skywriter because I got to measure each channel.
Yeah,
I got you. Oh, that makes. Oh, I see. Okay.
I mean, a lot of these downloads, they want you to sign your life away, what your interests are, what's your email address, all that kind of stuff. This is just click the link and you got it. Because I just want to track for my own stuff, which channels are hot to try. Is it Reddit? Maybe. Is it Facebook? Maybe. And I'll know better by having a unique link. If I use the same URL for everywhere, I'm never going to know.
That's true. That makes sense. You always make sense. Okay.
That
does make sense. I got you.
Speaking of balloons, a lady that I met years ago when she lived in California, she's moved to Albuquerque and she lives in an apartment building. And she put pictures up on Facebook today of the balloons that were up in the air. Lots of them. More than I ever had in Walla Walla.
Yeah. And that was the preliminary. The show doesn't start until tomorrow morning.
Yeah, they were just making sure the fabric didn't have a big hole in it, probably.
No, they do this. They do it special for our schools to educate the children about ballooning and in hopes, of course, to get more balloonists.
Back in the 80s and the 90s, I don't know what year they quit doing it, but they always had the Walla Walla balloon stampede at the high school. That's where it was for years. And when you mentioned doing it for schools, that made me think of that. Now they're going to Titan Park. I don't know. They deal with the school insurance or who knows what. Anyway,
liability probably. I don't know.
They moved the location for the event to this big, huge park.
The sound that they make is so odd if you're not used to balloons.
Yeah.
But the sound is just really interesting because I have the pleasure of seeing a hot air balloon just once. So I was visiting friends in Virginia. We were like, "What's that weird noise?" We ran to the window and there was a balloon close by. We hopped in the car and we chased it.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, because we didn't know what the heck. Hopped in the car, we chased it down. It landed in a park, and it was a balloon festival. And
I
that
gotta
was,
go.
it was so exciting.
The clock on the wall says 9:26, and we got pet grooming at 10. So we got to head on down
Okay.
to the door and get them rounded up.
Yes,
Yeah, puppy
indeed.
roundup is fun at our house. But I'm going to put that link in before I go. And I
Well, thank
shortened
you,
the link,
Guy. I
the
appreciate it.
tiny URL. It's self-serving. Oh, I'm curious. I got one curious question. When your sister Cookie was in your house,
Hmm.
did she try out the bike, the desk bike?
Oh, no, she did. Well, she's seen, I've had it for a few years now, a couple years
Yeah.
now. So she's tried it before, but not this time.
Oh, okay. She got it
Yeah,
out of
yeah.
her system. She doesn't need to revisit.
Oh, yeah. I mean, it's, yeah, she sees it. Yeah. But yeah, every
Well,
time she
Barb,
visits.
don't have too much fun. I like your anniversary idea. That's good. Don't try to hire me as a singer. Can't sing.
Oh, darn.
You can, oh, maybe along Route 6, you can tell people where the balloon festivals are. Along Route 6, all the
But
cities.
you know what I am going to look up? Not right this minute, but on the agenda, I want to find out how many Dairy Queen restaurants, we all know Dairy Queen,
Yeah.
are on Route 6. They're building a new one in, I forget the name of the town. Starts with a C, in Illinois.
Chicago.
No, not Chicago. It's
Cairo.
between Joliet and someplace else in Chicago.
Cairo.
In Illinois.
Okay.
Starts with, it's Chattanooga or something. It's where the three rivers come together and form the Illinois River. That's what I remember.
Definitely not Chattanooga, that's for sure. But I don't know.
So,
but anyway, yeah, okay. But I think you should look for the balloons festivals along Route 6, though. For sure.
Well,
you should do that.
I do need an event to attend for next month. October we've got already set up.
Mm-hmm.
But November, I have to have we call them location of interest.
Okay.
We feature them on the homepage. Like Boys Town is the one for this month.
Well, don't, even though if you don't go out of your way to check the balloon festivals or any balloon activities, don't miss them, because
oh yeah, absolutely.
Barb will call you out, because you have the connection right there. There's Barbara, and she has a page for the balloon enthusiasts.
Oh yeah. I just
and also I know the people who produce Walla Walla, and I know the people who show up there, and there are a lot of the balloonists who, they're not they're of our generation, and they like to take the side roads, to get to tour the side roads on their way. And Route 66 went right through Grants, New Mexico, where I was a child and spent, through my high school years. It's only I think 65 miles from Albuquerque, but it also runs through Albuquerque. Right through Central was Route 66, the downtown area. It's right through there. And we have the Route 66 Museum there that is just amazing.
We refer to that highway as the one that's only half as long and has more sixes than you need.
Well,
okay.
That's your story.
Oh, yeah. Well, you got to be vice president of both of them, I guess, to talk. Anyway, I got to get going. You guys have a good one.
You too, Guy.
Hey,
I got my new computer, by the way. So we'll have to chat about that sometime.
Did you see the note I sent you? I sent you a message.
Yeah, you sent me that note. But 60, that what I got is far above what I had.
I think what you got is a monster.
Absolutely.
When I looked it up, there's some versions of Windows that'll support 2 terabytes of RAM, though.
Yeah.
I can't even imagine having 2 terabytes.
Right. Well,
I see someone trying to join us, JS, but I don't see
who it is.
I don't see a face or anything. So if you wanted to join us, I want to make sure that your camera's working. Love to bring you on. Say hello.
I see him in a private chat. Says hello, children. I gotta go.
Oh, okay, Guy. Tell hi to your little puppy.
That's Gilbert. That's
JS.
JS.
Is that Gilbert for real? Oh, okay.
Who else would call us children? I'm sorry.
Is that JS Gilbert? No.
He's trying to.
Yes.
Let me go look in the group because I'll bet it is, and I'll bet he says he's not camera ready. Okay.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Well, you didn't even bother to put up an icon on the screen, JS. Shame on you. With all, because you only one.
You know,
You're the
you know
one.
what?
JS just
You know,
asked, how many JSs do you know?
just one. There is
But
only one JS.
But JS is actually pretty famous because, his voice is the voice of gaming characters, so video gaming characters and stuff. Over the years, he's very well known. He is someone that would go to Comic-Con and be celebrated. So,
Nice.
and he's quite the storyteller as well as an ornery live streaming person.
And
Wow.
his name.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, we
There
can.
you are,
Oh,
JS.
yeah.
That's you.
Okay.
Hey.
Yeah. Mic's working.
You
Yeah.
could use. I'm sorry, JS.
No, we're just lying here, having breakfast, trying to figure
Lying
out
here.
what to do with my day. And well, yes, I have spinal stenosis, so I lie.
I'm so sorry.
You've seen. I've done videos before of my work area where I have my desk that where I do most of my work, editing and all that kind of stuff. The seat reclines back completely level with the floor.
Wow.
And I have a 45-inch monitor that floats over my head, and then
Wonderful.
the keyboard and my trackball are held onto the desk with magnets.
Wow.
But if I ever have to put like loose papers or things like that on the desk, I have these big neodymium magnets to hold them down. It's such a pain in the ass. Like ripping them off and putting another one. It's very.
That's clever. That's real clever.
Yeah. Well, I'm sure you guys, to a certain extent, fall under a similar category, which is you consider logistics when you need to approach doing tasks or whatever it may be. So
you always have to think of workarounds.
Yeah, when I was in my 20s or 30s, it was like, hey, want to hop on a plane and see where it's going? And it's like, sure. Yeah, okay, I'll just buy some new underwear and a toothbrush when we get there. Now it's like, do I have the seat packed? And do I have, okay,
right.
What about all my pills? And so I have not been actually able to fly for a long time. For a bunch of reasons, but I think I'm going to get cleared by the cardiologist. So I've just got a I haven't had a passport forever, but I just got one. But I'm going to do a little flight. So from here to like San Diego is like a 2-hour flight. So I'm going to go there in the next month or so, just for a few days. And
Nice.
And see how that goes. So if I'm not one of those like freaked out people, or if when we land, I'm actually still alive, then
I certainly hope so.
Yeah. Well, I'm going to start speaking again if this works.
Excellent.
I have tentative first date just outside of Chicago in February.
Ooh, that's my hometown,
Chicago. It's funny. I used to spend a lot of time there when I was, back in the 80s when they had those, what do they call them? People would have to go to take these classes to get continuing education credits.
Oh, okay.
Like accountants and other people. And and so I was a facilitator for those things. So I can tell you what the Holiday Inns of most major cities.
All the Holiday Inns.
But Chicago was a place that I went to quite often and really enjoyed it a lot and got to know it. So I have friends, quite a few friends there, and they never they're outside of Chicago, but they never go into Chicago. So, but
that's where the fun is.
Yeah, I don't know. Who wants to hang out in like Hoffman Estates?
Well, I'm sure somebody does. So it's fine. It's fine. They're all fine. In fact, my
So when-
sister just flew back to Chicago yesterday. She visited me for a few days this week. So I
Yep.
tearfully said goodbye to her yesterday. I took her to the airport.
When was the last time you saw her?
My birthday, December. Now that we're on Social Security, we can now visit each other once a year. So she comes in, well, it is summertime, but she likes to come in winter when it's cold in Chicago and warm here. Or relatively warm here. And I usually go to Chicago either in April or May because all the important birthdays are in either April or May. And in fact, we celebrated my sister's 70th birthday this year. Super fun. Boy, was that fun.
Wow. There you go.
Yeah. Oh, is your name still a verb? Because I said to someone, you're Gilberting.
Or Gilberting, you mean?
Yeah, when their screen was messing up and they're like, what? I thought it was a common verb that everybody should know.
I never heard.
But everybody's changed. It's
That was from the blab days.
Right,
Go in
that's
and
what I
out.
was going to say.
Media.
That was
Yeah.
the first time that I heard it. Was
when
in
I
Blab.
went on Clubhouse originally, and I was working, and I actually heard somebody who I did not even know say, "Hey, you're Gilberting."
Nice.
And somebody else said, "What is that?" They said, "Oh, look it up in Urban Dictionary."
Yeah.
So.
Oh, if it made
Really?
the Urban Dictionary, then it's official.
Yeah.
Nice.
There you go. There are other things I'd like to be known for. I'd like to be known as the guy who won the toner wars, but then everybody would know how ancient I am.
Oh, this doesn't sound being ancient, but the what award?
The Toner Awards.
No, not awards, wars.
Wars.
Battle.
Wars.
Award.
Okay.
Oh. Okay.
Yeah, back in the 70s, when Xerox and IBM ruled, I got hired by a team that was working for Nashua. Nashua is a company that makes
New Hampshire, yeah.
They make the clone products of like everything 3M makes and a lot of other stuff.
Yeah.
And the law said if you were making machines that use consumables, you have to license other people to sell the consumables. And so Nashua came up with a whole line of toners for Xerox and IBM machines.
And disc. They had disc.
And no, it was a big team. I was junior at the time. Not that old, but so they were having a hard time because every time they go in to try and sell the stuff or whatever, the reps would say, "Oh, you can't use that. It'll void your warranty. It'll ruin the machine. You're going to get fired. You're going to whatever."
Boy.
So I came up with an idea, and I heard that a couple months after it was implemented, they actually had a dartboard up in an IBM office with my picture on it.
Oh no!
Yeah. So, and then IBM at one point did try to recruit me, but it did. Why? But the idea was we had a very attractive young men and women go out to all these places business and say, "Do you have a contract with Xerox or IBM for your toner?" And they say, "Yeah." "Have you ever heard from your rep that using another brand of toner is not a good idea?" "Yeah." "Okay, get them to sign this and you'll get $1,000 cash." And it was a document that we had made up by a legal team that said, I, the undersigned, signed, blah, blah, name, employed by Xerox or IBM or whatever, have say that using this Nashua toner will do one or more of the following as indicated. And there were places to sign in or initial and check, and then sign by. And so they would come in and, I'll bring that back. And, and then I'll bring it back to you signed. And nobody signed them. There were a few times when people tried to forge a signature and stuff like that, but we never got one that was signed. So the division went from doing like 45 grand a month in sales, and I had left at this point, but 18 months later they were doing something like 2 million a month.
Wow.
Whoa.
So yeah, it got picked up. The thing is, it got picked up by it was in the Wall Street Journal, the Washington Post, New
Whoa,
York Times.
sweet.
Not my name though. The people I worked for got credit for it.
Oh,
Yeah.
well,
But
That's
that's
good.
what happens when you're in your 20s back then.
Mhm.
Now you're
That-
in your
that's
20s.
clever.
If that happened now, somebody'd approach me and say, "Hey, here's just $5 million. Do a startup."
Yeah.
Oh well.
Powerful.
Actually, I
Probably.
shouldn't complain.
People are always looking for people with clever minds, clever ideas. Absolutely.
Well, so I don't know if you heard this, either of you, but there is now 2 universities out there that are giving out degrees in influencer. Mm-hmm.
Influencer degrees.
Yeah.
Oh no.
Yeah. Influencer degrees. I just
Is that
amazing.
liberal arts or science? I don't know.
You
It
got
have
me.
to be liberal. It's not.
Mm.
Oh boy, that
Careful.
wow.
And
That's pretty wild.
I just
Which schools
wrote
are which
I wrote-
schools?
I forget, but I just wrote
Oh.
an opinion paper for a company that and they're floating it around some people, but my personal feeling is that influencers are going to die within the next 2 years.
Not literally.
No,
The
they're
term,
well. The reason being is I think,
value in the term, I guess you'd
yeah,
say.
I think we're
Yeah.
going to go back to like trusted small circles,
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
certain individuals, because
Hmm.
it's just too easy to game the system right now. And as
Hmm.
AI increases its abilities, because we did a study of like Yelp, for example, and it's just too.
Mhm.
Do you know if a person goes to a restaurant and the weather is inclement, the restaurant is likely to get a 1-star lower review.
Oh,
Yeah.
they blame the weather on the restaurant?
No, it's just we have personal biases and feelings and things like that. The other thing is why these things don't work is because somebody says, "Oh, the food was way too spicy for me."
Mhm.
And you don't have a baseline. You don't know. Maybe that person's a Mormon and they think the cottage cheese is spicy. I don't know.
I understand.
Yeah.
But
Yeah, you're
in the
absolutely
past,
right. Yeah.
we had critics,
Mhm.
and I could say, "Oh, he has a kind of similar taste to me, or he has taste nothing like mine."
Mhm.
Or she, or whatever it might be, and you got to understand people, whether it was films or it was food or other things. So even if you go online and you look, same thing with Amazon, all the Vine reviews,
Mhm.
Mm-hmm.
those are people who get the product for free, and they know
Right.
that giving it a
Oh.
bad review is probably not in their best interest. So
Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
One of the hot topics on YouTube are people talking about Google Google searches not being really honest. When you're looking for something, Google, I guess, gives preference for people who have paid them
Aid. Yeah.
to
yeah,
move
well,
up in the
same
ranks.
thing with Yelp, and same thing with Amazon and everybody
Right.
Oh,
else.
really?
Right. Money
Oh,
talks.
okay.
Always has.
So
But-
there was
Yeah.
a place on Amazon, I forget the name, but they were selling dried fruits and nuts. And they
Mhm.
got to a point where they were selling about $2 million a month. Huge.
Wow.
And Amazon just decided to compete with them. And now when you do searches and stuff, they're knocked down to like the 3rd page.
Oh, I'll bet.
So
I heard that Amazon does that. Yeah.
Mhm.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
If something sells well, then they'll come out with Amazon brand version.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I'm not
Wow.
sure if the United States has been an oligarchy all as far back as you can think. I mean, technically, but it certainly is now. And everything within it. Like people are like, that's not fair. And I'm like, well, it's not your football. You know?
Yeah, right.
Exactly.
Yeah. So what's new and exciting for you guys?
Well, I don't know. I'm just having fun.
Yep.
I built a new front deck on my front porch. I
Oh,
converted
nice.
from a concrete
How-
slab into a deck. That's the most exciting thing, I guess.
How big is
besides
it?
it's like 18 feet by like 8 feet.
That's a good size.
Pretty sizable, considering
Yeah,
it was
you
just a
could
little
fit-
concrete slab.
You could fit some nice furniture on there, or
Oh yeah, I get real comfortable out there. Oh yeah.
you could do a little salsa dancing out there. Yeah. Oh yeah.
Not that big, not quite.
No. Okay.
But I do have nice, potted plants and the little sofa and the little chair, little
Oh,
table
wow.
and chair. Oh, it's very comfortable.
Are you going to stream live from out there when you get it all set up?
That's a good idea.
I think
Why
so.
don't
I mean,
think
I
these
did that at the
Yeah.
resort.
Yeah. What's going on with you? What's your living situation these days, Barb? And
Well, I still have, I mean, even since the Blab days, I had the home in Albuquerque and I had
Right.
the home at the resort. Still
Yeah.
have both,
Oh,
but
okay.
where I am at my home in Albuquerque, which we've owned since 1986. And I am trying, I mean, I'm looking at my whole story, if you will, because the everything was here. I didn't take it all with me to Oregon. And as as baby boomers go, you find that you collect a lot of stuff. Hi, Tony.
Good morning. Good
So
morning.
he's one of our fellow Blabylonians, we'll say, but
Awesome.
he's one from our Born to Stream Live group.
Oh, cool.
He's got a lot of changes going on too.
Mm.
But so I am going through all my memorabilia and stuff and deciding what's to keep and what's to go. And quite frankly, because we have the digital, we have our phones that we can take the photos with now. And I mean, all the digital tools we have, I just thought I don't really need the hard object anymore. I'll just take a picture of it because I really like to kind of, be able to not have to move a lot more. I mean, I do have a warehouse there in where my the resort property is as well, and I've got to go through that because what have I got? Couple thousand or more. I can't
Currently,
remember.
my wife is parking she's parking the car in the driveway because the garage is stacked to the ceiling.
Yeah,
with crap in it. Stuff I got to get rid of. Things that just haven't been used for years. We had like a 4-person sauna that took up a lot of room in the
Oh
basement.
wow! Yeah, I bet.
Sauna.
I bet.
Okay.
So, and like it's just nobody. It costs like $3,500, and I was trying to get somebody to buy it for like $750. Well, they would have had to get a truck with a lift gate or something, and I couldn't rent one. It was crazy. So I took it apart, and now I've like had 2 people express an interest in it for $500, and then they ghost you. Like
Oh,
whatever.
for real? Wow.
Bought a couple TVs, put a frame around it, and use USB to loop your photos and video. That's
There
nice.
you go. Nice.
Yeah, I got to digitize. I found boxes and boxes of pictures downstairs that I have to digitize. So
Yeah. Excuse me. I know people who have the cute little digital photo frames in their kitchens that circulates pictures of the family. It's very cute, very sweet.
So when you open up a drawer or something, you find pictures that are like 20, 30 years old or whatever. How often do you actually
How
recognize?
about 50?
Yeah. How often do you actually recognize the people in the pictures? Because
See, that's the thing.
Anybody.
Okay,
That's
you go
the
first.
thing. Yeah.
I had a whole program. It's Barb, So, before the digital format, I always put on the back of my photos the year, the people, and that. So,
You're smart.
Yeah.
but I was taught that by my father, who was, he had a passion for photography.
Mhm.
And he, was always a planner kind of guy. So I do have that, and thank heavens that I do, because it definitely helps for memory triggers.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
I mean, we were all, together on Blab, and we were talking about the old PC days. And I said, well, I actually did meet Bill Gates. I actually did meet Steve Jobs. I mean, Steve
Cool.
Jobs came to my home. Do you remember that story? In the morning,
Okay,
he
Tony.
came in that way, and I have a picture of him with me and his partner in the foyer of my home. But so I have some very interesting photos from.
I guess I met them at the first West Coast Computer Fair.
Yeah.
And I knew the guy who had the stock options napkin. You heard that story, right?
No, I didn't hear that one.
No.
Apparently the Jobs and Wozniak or whatever, they were all broke. They barely could make it to that show. And and he was a friend of one of their friends, and basically said, if you're willing to buy us some food or whatever it was. And I think it was a $50 investment back then, which, that would have bought several meals. I think you're looking at like lunch was maybe around $2.95 back then or something.
Mhm.
And so Steve Jobs wrote out on a thing and said, this is redeemable at any time for 100 shares
Oh, yeah.
Apple stock.
Mm-hmm.
Isn't that nice?
Yeah. And
how did I space that out?
the guy that he gave that to just totally had forgotten about it. And then sometime around 1985, when Apple was going great guns, and that's quite a few years later.
How could I forget that?
He said, oh my God, and he found the napkin, and he went down to Apple and said, and sure, yeah, here you go. And
Whoa.
how much money he made off of that, but
Whoa.
it's one of the best investments that
That's a great story.
yeah.
And a great investment.
I've got, there used to be a group in the Bay Area called the Flounders Club, because there was another group called the Founders Club, and they were just buttoned up really tight. So the Flounders Club was all these people like Jugi Tandem and the guys that did InvisiCalc and all these other, and basically in order to qualify, you had to have made at least $1 million and lost at least $1 million.
Yeah, I was really good at losing.
And I was a member of that club.
Yeah.
a few times over. And
I thought about it.
I was too busy losing to join the club.
It was so funny. And what's hysterical is how many of those guys now who are 70s and 80s, and a few of them you would from Fairchild Semiconductor and whatnot. And if you go north of San Francisco and you go to Stinson Beach and Sausalito, whatever, they are like they're selling candles and tie-dye shirts and crystals and there's actually quite a few. Yeah, it's amazing. There's quite a few years ago, and I'm like, I'm sure I know you, and I'm like, oh geez, Buzz, yeah, you used to.
That is wild.
I know, it's pretty funny. So people laugh because you know what I'm doing now. I mean, yeah, I'm doing my regular shit and stuff like that, but not as much. Partially because people don't want to hire an old guy, but I'm making jewelry.
Yeah, that's what I was going to ask you about, is how that was coming along.
It's kind of good for the soul and it's fun. And creating in any form is kind of always been my thing. What I'm not entirely crazy about, and it sounds weird because I've been in advertising my whole life, and I don't have any problem with somebody coming to me and asking me to come up with a campaign and strategies and work out whatever, or even problem solving. But I really don't like selling myself or the stuff I make. I just don't feel good about it.
Wow.
That's
That's
actually
why
a
I've always
sign
had
of a
agents,
true artist.
agents and representatives, you know. It's worth a cut to not have to deal with it. So, but I'm doing a what do you call it? A crafts fair a week from this Saturday.
Nice.
Not a big one, and I got everything that I need, you know, the tablecloths and the runners and the But
Well, I hope you can allow people to buy some of your stuff, because people get a thrill from buying things that they really like. So so even if you don't like to sell,
no, I have an Etsy store, but
yeah, that's what
I haven't really been pushing it that much.
Yeah, give people the thrill of buying something that they like.
Yeah.
I make toys, and I like to sell my toys at
cool.
at
You
little
have any there?
festivals and whatnot. My toys are in the other room, and in fact, COVID sort of knocked me out of business for a while. I haven't recovered yet, but hopefully next year, when I get back on my feet, I'll be able to buy materials again. I can resume making toys. I make toys out of PVC pipe.
Oh, cool. You know, it's funny about COVID, because that's I've been painting and doing leather work and welding and all that kind of stuff. You know, it goes all the way back to, like, you know, Radio Shack days back in the again early 70s, and just loving any of that kind of stuff. So now I'm trying to sign up for trade shows. And apparently what's happened is all these people got locked inside during COVID, and they started doing all kinds of crafts and things like that, plus laser cutters and whatnot. And,
3D printing.
Right.
I had somebody who was after me for like a few years to be in their trade show. And I finally called her up and said, hey, you know what? I'm at that point. And she's like, I've got a waiting list of like 200 people here.
Oh.
Yeah. So if the show is any good at all, there's people waiting in line to get to it.
Wow.
And there's another one that I wanted to get with too, and they just said, well, you know, we have way too many people in your categories. So I don't know what they want. Maybe they want somebody who makes things out of belly button lint. I don't know what, you know, what category is underrepresented, you know.
Well, what do you make your jewelry out of?
So I kind of, for a long time, what I was doing was I was actually sketching, because I also, you know, I polish stones and I collect gemstones and things like that. So I would design pieces, and then they were very high end, and I would bring them to jewelers and I would have them made, and you know, so I did that for quite a while, but I didn't really, there wasn't a whole lot of hands-on process. And now what I'm doing for the most part is I work with opals and amylites. Now, amylites are a single source gemstone that come from Alberta only. And there's a special thing that happens in this thing called the Bear Shale deposit, where the ammonite, which is this 70 million year old sea creature, you know, like a nautilus shell, or it's a shell. They're found all over the world, but in the rest of the world, they just kind of fossilize. And in Alberta, they turn into a special kind of fossil called, I think it's called andesite, I forget. And then
I can look at it.
And then there's a replacement thing that goes on where it gets all this beautiful AMMOLITE amylite, where it gets all this beautiful color in it, and it's similar in ways. It's a silica. It's similar in ways to opals. In fact, there's anyway. When they mine these and they move them around and whatever, the little tiny pieces of the color will flake off. It could be like the size of my fingernail or whatever. And I have a source where I buy those, and then I take those and I embed them in with various other things like crushed gemstones to make powders and whatnot. And I combine those with precious resin, and I make jewelry pieces out of them. So, and then the same thing with opals. Now you take a black opal, a big black opal, that's really nice looking, and it could cost $1,000, $2,000. But in the process of cutting these stones or looking for the stones or whatever, there's little slivers and fragments. And so I have sources for that. And both of these things require a lot of preparation, which I put them into like tumblers and then ultrasonic cleaners, and then sift off very, very fine particles of dust and dirt. And then, but what I'm left with is little pieces that have lots of sparkle and color, and so those are the two main ones that I'm doing. I've also been using crushed lapis lazuli and crushed emeralds and crushed rubies. You can find big chunks of rubies, rough ruby, that's not worth very much. But if you crush it and make a powder out of it and then kind of mix it, and then you form it back, and it can make nice pieces out of these things, and then sometimes combine them. So I've got inlaid rings that have like dinosaur bone and opal in it, or meteorites and ammonite, and just different. I don't know. It just to have fun, and but we'll see how things go. Maybe I'll do a Kickstarter or something like that if I get a good idea.
I've made necklaces out of marbles. You can take marbles, especially the pretty, like the clear ones, like the tiger eye or whatever.
You drill them, huh?
And you broil them at 500 degrees, and they shatter.
Yeah.
But they stay round. But they really go, and they're very shiny.
Beautiful.
Very beautiful.
But how do you string them?
I watched some YouTube videos on how to make out of wire little holders. Little holders that you can make fashion like little necklaces out of.
Because I have a little my Dremel tool. I have these drill bits, and if you hold the marble underwater, you can drill a hole through it.
Yeah.
Whoa, that would be wild.
Yeah.
Wow. I haven't done that.
Marbles and opals are very similar. Well, here's the thing that's interesting about opal. 95% of all the opal that's pulled out is what they call common opal. So if the silica that's present in the opal lines up and it's in an orderly fashion, then you get all these various colors, plays of colors. But when it's in a random fashion, you don't. And depending on what other minerals are in there with it, you can get all these different colors. So I have common opal here, and you can get it in every color you can think of. I have yellow, I have green, I have black, I have pink, I have blue, and white. So in Australia, they refer to the common opal as potch. That's just the term for it. So, but some of it's, by itself is actually really pretty, but it's not really like gem quality or anything that you can. Although God knows they're making jewelry out of everything these days.
Oh yeah, you can. Oh yeah, if you're clever, you can make jewelry out of just about anything you can imagine.
There's somebody making it out of petrified elephant dung. Now, I don't know why you'd want that, but
conversation piece,
I suppose. Yeah. Well, and at that point, it doesn't smell anymore. So here.
I would certainly hope not.
No, it's a rock, basically.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I'm doing that, and a little bit of consulting and voiceover. I realize now when I got into voiceover, 95% of all the people out there, when I was starting doing voiceover, and I would say I do voiceover,
Hey, Ata.
they didn't know what
Hi,
that meant.
Etta.
Hi, how are you?
Good to see
I'm
you.
fine. What about you? Thanks.
So, how long are you planning on staying on, Patricia? And
Oh,
your live
for
stream?
a few more minutes.
Because I was going to say I could add the TJ's group to it since Ata is here, so they can all see that Ata is being very disciplined about improving his English speaking skills and also coming on
Yes.
camera.
Sure, you can do that.
Yes.
Okay, well, I have to set it up, so it'll take a couple minutes and at least do 5
So
minutes.
we interrupted JS.
Oh,
so
no,
sorry.
I was pretty much done.
You might
Oh.
introduce Ata to JM while I take care of the techie part of this.
Oh, JS, Ata, meet JS. We can't see him on camera, but he's an old friend of myself and of Barb, and he lives out west. So he's dropping in to say hello, and
Yeah.
it's a real pleasure to meet
Hi, Jen.
meet up with
How are
JS again.
Hi, nice to meet you. Where are you, Ata?
I'm from Pakistan.
Pakistan. Ah,
Yes.
𝗕𝗧𝗧𝗬. Oh,
Chico.
TikTok? Yeah.
Chico. Yes.
Whoa, that's impressive. What did you say?
I said, how are you, brother? And TikTok is okay. I had a roommate.
Wow.
A roommate was from Pakistan. And I was there in Pakistan, many years ago. I met Ali Bhutto.
Whoa.
Oh,
How about
wow.
that?
Zulfikar Ali Bhutto.
Ali Bhutto, yeah. So what a
Wow.
guy. He went to school in Berkeley.
Yes.
Wow.
Yeah.
How
So
about that?
that was a great trip for me. I went to Pakistan, I went to India, and I went to Kashmir. Kashmir, very interesting place, because Pakistan wants Kashmir and India wants Kashmir, and Kashmir doesn't want anybody.
Wow, that's
Yes.
amazing.
Yes, you are talking. How long you have visited Pakistan, India, and Kashmir?
How long ago was it?
Yes. Yes.
1967, I think it was. 66, 67.
Yes. 65. The government of Zulfikar Bhutto is in 65.
65 then. Okay. Yeah. Then I guess it was then. Yeah.
TJ, I'm sorry, Patricia, we are streaming live to TJ's group right now. So would you mind if I just take a second and introduce you all? Students, it's your community manager, Barb Tomlin here, and I'm with dear friend Patricia Murray, and she every day has a live stream and a hangout session after that. And Ata met Patricia through me, and you'll recognize Ata from our group, and he's been practicing his English diligently and getting over, the shyness for joining us live. And right below me is actually a pretty famous voiceover artist, J.S. Gilbert. And so he's on via just audio today. And so we thought we'd just come in and share the experience with you. I did share the link to join us in the studio if any of you want to, but we'll just be here for a few minutes. And I just wanted to celebrate with Ata all of the progress that he's made and thank Patricia for having him join us.
Yeah.
I appreciate that so much.
English is not an easy language.
Right.
It is not. It's crazy.
Well, JS, you were the first one that I've been on live with Ata who actually could speak something in his language to understand, or at least he understood what you were saying.
Yeah, a little bit. I've forgotten most of it, but at one point I could say, get me to the American consulate in probably 50 languages.
Well, that's
Wow.
probably something you want to know if you're traveling.
Well, a lot of the traveling that I did was at turbulent times. So, you know, I was in communist China in 1959.
Whoa.
Yeah.
59. Wow.
Yeah, I was a baby. Well, yeah, pretty young. My uncle had a business that he worked for that they had a product that increased the amount of time. It was a hybrid product that decreased the amount of time it took for international cash, transactions.
Yeah.
So sometimes it would take like 2 weeks or more, and so he was invited on a diplomat's journey to go. Now his son is much older than me. My mother was the baby of the family, so I am too. And so he took me along on and off between the ages of about 7 till I was about 18. So very, very lucky that I got to do all that stuff and got to go see some crazy things. Yeah. And
nice.
We were in Japan for a very long time because of the way that they do things. Like if you go to Munich, well, I don't know how things are now, but you go to Munich, everybody that was interested from like all of Germany pretty much would come to Munich, and there was one huge hall, and he would just speak to like 1,000 people. But in Japan, it wasn't like that. You had to talk to people kind of one-on-one. And so you had to send a little envoy first and explain who you were and all that. So we were there for quite some time. And when I came back to the United States, apparently I was speaking pretty darn good Japanese. And
so does Nat.
Yeah, no, I got the crap beat out of me. It wasn't that I'd lost an uncle in World War II. So yeah. It was not much after that. So yeah, it's a shame, and then even being Italian, they wouldn't speak Italian around the house because they didn't want, us to grow up with a stigma. So to those of you listening who, polyglot, which is the word for those who speak more than one language, what a wonderful thing it is to be able to do that. So I'm probably Spanish my best language, but I wouldn't say I'm fluent. But what I do is I speak the language of food. So I can cook
language of food.
I can cook pretty much any cuisine. I forget what the dishes are called, but and even so my ex-roommate, his name was 𝗕𝗓𝗓𝗧, 𝗕𝗓𝗓𝗓𝗓 was his name. Or is his name. He's still alive. And he taught me how to make some things. One of the dishes I still make all the time. It's a ground meat and rice and peas and a whole bunch of spices. It's kind of spicy. Yeah, and it's really good.
That's a lot of things.
And then roti.
What is that, Acha?
I'm talking that he cooked a lot of things.
That's the name of the food. Okay.
What is it called?
I called that JS cooked a lot of foods.
Okay. Yeah.
Now, most Africans that I know speak a minimum of 3 languages because they speak their home language of their group, then they speak their regional language, which is like their state language or whatever, and then they speak the colonial language. And if it's not English, like if you speak French, then of course when you move here, then you learn English. So most Africans I know speak a minimum of 3.
Yeah, now we have a group here. I forget where they're from, but they speak some African languages, but they also speak Dutch.
Yeah, that's probably the colonial language.
Yeah. which is, and some of the groups that are here are pretty amazing. So in San Bruno, which is the town right next to me, you will find a group of Indians who grew up in Fiji. And their cooking is amazing because it's Indian cooking that uses Fijian ingredients. And it's just so amazing.
You know, when you're in New York, they have a lot of Cuban Chinese restaurants because a lot of Chinese people were in, I guess, Cuba for whatever reason.
Mm-hmm.
And so you'll hear people speak Spanish and you whirl around and it's a Chinese person. It's like, oh, unexpected. But yes, but the cuisine is wild because I did have the pleasure of going to one of these restaurants. So it's like Cuban food and Chinese food somehow mixed in a very creative way.
We have that here with 𝗕𝗨𝗟𝗟 and Chinese.
Okay.
The 𝗕𝗨𝗟𝗟. And you know, it's different, but it's talking about food. I'm off my keto diet. I lost like 70 pounds and then I put back on like 12.
Oh, but still you're making progress, so that's good.
Yeah.
Ata, what is your most popular food in your village? So for dinner, what do most people have as a tradition?
We call that food is sag.
Sag?
Yes, sag. Basically, sag is leaf.
Leaf.
Great time. Yes.
Interesting.
And then what do you put on top of the leaf?
We do not put anything. We put on its misalas in Pakistan.
Okay.
Spices, basically.
Oh, that sounds good. So do you roll it up and cook it?
Yes.
That sounds good. That sounds
and
really good.
We eat sag with chapati.
I've heard that word. I don't know what that is. Chapati.
That means bread, wheat bread.
Oh, okay. And I've seen masala in the stores, in the grocery stores.
Oh, I've been
Mizan company and Shizan company.
Okay.
Also, another dish I remember, and I can make it, is called nihari.
Yes, nihari.
What is?
Nihari is basically the mixing of different kind of cereals and meat.
And rice. Pulao is rice.
Yes.
Okay. Wow.
Impressive.
Yeah.
All right.
Very good.
Wonderful. Well, I'm going to end the show here, and I'm going to check on. There's a cousin I've been trying to reach. She just had her 99th birthday, but I haven't been able to get her on the phone for a week. So I need to figure out a different way to find her. I hope she's okay. So I'm going to go look into finding cousin Julia. So I really am thrilled, JS, to see you again. To see you again.
Let's see if I can say this right. 𝗕𝗨𝗟𝗟 kushihol. Did I say that right, Kata?
Please speak again.
𝗕𝗨𝗟𝗟 kushihol.
Yes. Aapse milkar khushi. You are trying your best.
Yes.
I said nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you.
Oh. Well,
okay.
Very nice to see you, JS and Ata. You of course. I want everybody to come back whenever you like, and of course, Barb always.
Yes, thank you.
All right, stay healthy and busy, everybody.
Yes,
definitely. Staying busy is very important, and healthy
Thanks,
as
everyone.
Well.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
𝗕𝗓𝗟𝗟𝗓,
Bye
Ata.
bye.
Yes, see you
Love from
soon.
Pakistan. Allah Hafiz. Tata.
Thank you. Okay. Bye-bye. Bye-bye. Super fun. What a fun show. So Barb stopped by, then JS stopped by, and Ata stopped by. Super, and of course, Guy stopped by earlier. So anyway, I'm going to end the show here. And the temperature, let's check the temperature, then I'll go. Let's see. And it was supposed to rain and the sun came out. So maybe it was raining somewhere in Durham. If it rained in your neighborhood, put it in the comments below. Let's see. So right now, oh, it's still 77 degrees. Now it's saying that it's going to go up to 78 degrees today with a night low of 63. So it's not quite time to turn up the heat, turn on the heat, or to bring the plants in from outdoors. Not just yet. Anyway, have a beautiful day. And I'll see you tomorrow at 10 for Bull City Hangout. Ciao for now. What a wonderful show.